Let's go, people, let's go. It's Prognosis Negative time.
Hi, this is Eric.
And it's Denise.
And welcome back to this Prognosis Negative Cinema Quickie. I'm pretty sure this is the fourth one. And yes, you heard right. I'm here with my friend Denise, who has never been on the podcast before. And we are literally here in the parking lot, are we not?
We are.
Yes, we are here in the parking lot. And we have just seen Wes Anderson's latest film, Asteroid City. I will say before we get into it that me and Denise, when Wes Anderson's last movie, Friend's Dispatch, came out, we saw that too. And that, I think, was like a little bit of a weird experience because it seemed like everybody in the cinema was quiet. And then walking out for that movie, I was kind of like, I don't know, it just happened. But we'll see. Has Wes Anderson redeemed himself for us now? Denise, what's your hot take?
Well, I definitely feel that Wes Anderson has redeemed himself.
Oh.
Because the French Dispatch, I felt was very chaotic. To me, it was chaotic. And it just wasn't a very good follow-through, like, to follow along.
So I'm thinking there's a lot of moving parts in that movie and maybe it didn't all come together for you?
Exactly.
All right. But this one did.
This one did. And it was light. It was funny. I loved all the characters. I wish the alien had more screen time. Jeff, I wish he had more of a talking part as the alien.
Any other standout characters amongst the humans?
Amongst the humans, I did like BRAINIAC. I did enjoy BRAINIAC's role. He did remind me of the bellboy from Grand Budapest.
For sure.
Definitely gave off that vibe.
Yeah, have you seen, is it the Royal Tenenbaums?
Yes.
He kind of reminds me of the kid who Bill Murray's like doing experiments on in that movie.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
So, for me, it's definitely a very Wes Anderson-y movie. Like, every time I see like a new Wes Anderson movie, maybe not the dog ones, but the ones with people, it almost seems like Wes Anderson is almost doing a Wes Anderson impersonation of himself. Like, I thought that since maybe Moonlight Kingdom or Grand Budapest, but then he keeps getting even more so with like the next one. And as always, I'm captivated just by like the location and the set design. I'm like reading every sign and everything all over the place. Like, I noticed even on the opening shot with Bryan Cranston in the very beginning when he's just on the stage explaining things, and it shows like a fake backdrop of like New York City or Times Square, and there was even an ad for like the Bugle Boy production there, which we don't hear about until much later in the movie. So like all the little details, I was like staring at like the menu for the restaurant, the diner. Like, I wanted to order everything. It was making me so hungry. And so if you're already into that stuff, you're going to get plenty of it. And if you are a person who doesn't like that stuff, you're just going to hate this movie, just like you hate all the other Wes Anderson movies, whoever you are. Jason Schwartzman,
mm-hmm.
Like, he's obviously in almost every Anderson movie. And I think because he tends to play douchey characters in many movies. He's just like a light douche in this. Like, he's okay. And then there's this aspect of the movie where it's like the movie we're seeing is the play.
Uh-huh.
Because every once in a while they break the fourth wall. Like, the characters come out of the movie / play. That's a little bit weird.
I kind of like that, how it broke off from like the play and how they came to where it showed Jason Schwartzman's character audition for his part. I kind of liked that little scene. I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just watching the movie for the first time. Obviously, it kind of like take me out of it for a second, because I had to like reorient my brain, like when we would like step out of the movie and then like go back into the movie. And then of course there's that weird moment where Bryan Cranston is in the movie for a second. That's almost too much Wes Anderson winking at himself or winking at us, but it's okay.
Yeah, but I do feel like he has a pattern of doing that sort of thing, because in Grand Budapest, we hop out of the film into like the writer's point of view, and then also in French Dispatch, there's a bunch of hopping in and out.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
I like how there's multiple romances in the movie. I mean, there's like the obvious one with Schwartzman and Scarlett Johansson, but there's the teens and there's the school teacher.
Mm-hmm. Maya Hawke's character.
Yeah, exactly. And she looks amazing, by the way. They kind of rough her up for Stranger Things, but she has like the amazing like makeup tan in this movie. Yes, totally. And these are like side plots, like just over there in the corner, but yet like the school teacher one, like it just plays out, and like I don't know, I dug it, even though it's just like a little thing, small part of the movie. The scientist woman, I mean, I don't know that I should know the actress's name. She's also a veteran. Yeah, Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton, a veteran of Wes Anderson movies and other things. Like, she comes off as a typical, like, really creepy character at the beginning. At one point, later in the movie, I almost thought she was gonna kiss Brainiac.
I felt that too. They were in such an intimate setting, in private. So I also thought that, and then I like hated myself for thinking that.
No, because like because she's obviously enamored by him. She sees herself, like a younger version of herself in him, and she's like, "You could be my protege." And then you could just tell, like, she just has all these like emotions, and it's just like, whoa, crazy energy. So there's multiple teen characters, like they're all like these smart kids in this competition. The one who kept doing ridiculous things. Oh,
the Do You Dare Me?
Yeah.
The Do You Dare Me kid?
I mean, he was obnoxious, but there was this one part of the movie where the camera did like a close-up on him, just on his face, and he looked like one of those AI paintings to me. Did you see what I'm talking about? Because it was something about the color and like his face, like it looked too perfect, like, and it looked like one of those AI-generated like portraits.
Yeah, his skin tone.
Yeah, and then his like just his facial feature, like it didn't look like a real person. It just, I don't know, it was interesting. And this was another thing, like he's like an annoying character, but then he had this little bit of dialogue later in the movie that kind of like humanized his character. You know?
Yes.
You know, little details like that. A weird thing I thought, remember when Matt Dillon, the mechanic, and he was going to try to put that 75-cent part to try to repair the engine, and he had that little thing that like he twisted on. It looks like a jack from what do you call that game? The old game where you pick up with the ball and the jacks.
I think it's called jacks.
Okay, well anyway, it was a little black little thing that he was putting like to the, it would have been like the bottom of the oil pan, but like the bottom of the engine, and it looked like a little jack that was like black in color. And you know, spoilers, when the alien ship came and like the little piece came out the middle, it kind of looked like it to me.
Okay, yeah, I can.
And I was like, why does that look like that? Like, is that just a weird coincidence? But the little piece that came out before the whole apparatus came down out of the ship, it just kind of looked at that little part, and I just thought that was a weird thing. Like, I feel like it means something, but I don't know what it means. And of course, later, I think it's when the alien ship returns the second time. For some reason, Matt Dillon has that broken part that falls out of the box, and it's like doing its whole, like, I don't know what that means.
Maybe like a bit of foreshadowing there in the beginning.
Did you think it was sweet, the message that Brainiac put up on the moon?
I did that. That was cute. And then they immediately went for their kiss afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was cute too. The girl who played Scarlett Johansson's daughter. She reminded me of, if anyone's watched Arrested Development, she reminded me of Maybe. Yeah, and actually, because if you know Arrested Development, Maybe and Michael Cera's character, George Michael, they had this weird relationship situation going on. And these two characters in this movie kind of resembled George Michael and Maybe. Like because they had like share traits like the couple does. Awkward guy with cute girl. And if you see pictures, they kind of resemble each other, the male and female characters I'm talking about. Thoughts on the Roadrunner?
Love the Roadrunner. It was a cute little touch.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I meet people who are not from Texas, and they're surprised to hear that like Roadrunners are like real birds. Like they think that it's just a cartoon character and like not a real thing. Mm-hmm. So I like how the Roadrunner looked like a real Roadrunner. He's also like a little bit blue, and I don't know that I've ever seen a blue Roadrunner in real life.
Yeah, all the Roadrunners I've seen have been typically gray, ashy colored.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of brown. So I guess the blue is like a nod to the famous character. I don't know, but it was still cool. Oh, and then this reminds me of like, it was a nice touch, like the 3 younger daughters.
I did enjoy them.
Like they're just always doing something random.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the deal is with Steve Carell. How that guy is like weirdly obsessed with like maybe capitalism in this tiny little town. I don't know, like
with all his vending machines.
Yeah, but he has like these amazing vending machines that are like out of this world, no pun intended. And then he's like trying to sell plots of land, but it's all like a scam anyway. Okay, now let's get to it. I think there's actually some bigger ideas in this movie. I haven't put them all together yet. Like I have to see this movie more times. But I think there's like a bigger message here with like the Steve Carell character and his trying to capitalize on things and trying to swindle people. He probably represents like government in some way or bureaucracy. There's obviously the military complex that does what the military always does, especially in old-fashioned like sci-fi movies or in like 80s sci-fi movies. You know, the military always has to come in and quarantine everybody and all that business and try to keep everything a secret. There's some guys wearing suits who look like FBI, CIA types. And then something else I thought was curious is maybe part of some type of message. There's multiple times where there's like this high-speed chase going through the little town with like some kind of like robbers or somebody, and they're being chased by the police. And it's like the exact same robbers and the exact same police, and they come multiple times. And there's also this unfinished government project that's like a ramp that they started building, but it doesn't go anywhere. And I feel like this has something to do, this combined with the cops and robbers, it has something to do with like history repeating itself, or like government promises that never come true. Like there's something to do with not accomplishing anything. But again, this is what I'm saying is a work in progress. I haven't worked it all out yet, but there's something else going on. Do you think I'm crazy, or do you think there's something?
Maybe I have to watch the film a couple more times, because I'm not exactly seeing the non-completed project with the high-speed chase. I'm not seeing that connect.
Sure. Yeah, I'm working on it. And then, of course, there's the curious thing of the alien who's hilarious. But when he came to get the meteorite or space rock or whatever, for some reason in my head, I was comparing it to the mother's ashes being left in the town. And in my head, I was thinking maybe the alien is like picking up like his friend or like someone who died. Like maybe when the asteroid came 5,000 years ago, and maybe he was just picking up like a little bit of his friend. But then, of course, it gets dropped off later, and the general just says it was cataloged.
Yeah.
So then it makes you wonder: do the aliens? They don't even care about us. They're just doing an inventory. Maybe.
And then I also just felt like it was a little incomplete, the whole alien story. What was his purpose in coming to grab that asteroid?
Right. And maybe it was nothing. Maybe we just happened to witness something, but it doesn't even matter to the alien. I like how the alien kind of posed.
for the picture.
Yeah. And I like when Jason Schwartzman, who's a photographer, when he's like showing the prints to Scarlett Johansson, and he shows her like the alien photo, and she doesn't even care about it.
Very uninterested.
And it looks hilarious too, the picture. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed when the kid, the one who was doing all the dares, he had like, at one point he had a kite or something on a string. I can't remember what it was. When he was doing something ridiculous, and he was holding like a string and something in the air, and he held his hand like this. I'm doing a hand signal to Denise. Did you notice that?
I did not catch that.
Do you know what that is?
Like a come in peace sign.
It's the Star Trek live long and prosper sign is what I'm doing. But sure, I come in peace. That obviously you're a huge Star Trek fan. Anyway, it's like these little weird things. Yeah. Oh, and one little last thing I'll say before we give it a rating. Did you notice, have you seen Life Aquatic?
I have not seen that one.
Oh. For those who have seen Life Aquatic, the cool Brazilian guy who's like playing the David Bowie songs on the acoustic guitar in Life Aquatic, I wish I remember the guy's actual name. He did a little cameo when the little band did their little hoedown little song. Look for the dark fellow in the front, and I'm pretty sure that's our Brazilian guy from Life Aquatic. So it was really cool to see him back in an Anderson flick. So the way we rate this is out of 5, but we have to have a unit of measure, and it's like something from the movie or something, an object.
Okay.
What object do you want it to be? You can pick anything in the movie.
The camera.
The camera. I had a lot of thoughts about that, but okay. So out of 5 cameras, 5 vintage cameras, what are you gonna rate the movie?
Let's see. I did enjoy it. So I'm gonna see like out of 5 cameras, I'm gonna see like a 3.5.
Okay, that's a nice score. That's a nice score. You know what? I think, because yeah, it's not my favorite Wes Anderson movie. Certainly not my least favorite. I'm gonna need more time to like digest it and see it more. Because French Dispatch, for instance, once it came out, like on stream and Blu-ray, I watched it many more times, and I definitely appreciate it more on rewatch. It was rough the first time, but anyway, for now, I am also going to give it 3.5 out of 5 vintage cameras.
Vintage camera.
Absolutely. And by the way, thank you for being on the podcast. Finally, maybe we could see another movie that's not a Wes Anderson flick sometime in the future, and we could do this again.
Possibly.
Awesome.
Definitely.
So, closing out the show today, this is Eric.
And this is Denise.
And until next time,
The parking lot is yours.
Prognosis negative.
I want you to say it like you're kind of constipated and you're sitting on the toilet.
Like Christian Stewart.
Sure.
The parking lot is yours.